Hey guys, what's going on? Angela Montañez here. So today I want to come to you guys today and talk about empowerment and disempowerment, especially when it comes to your inner fat girl. And I'm terming her your inner fat girl because for those of you that are not familiar with my journey and with my story, I was a child with a life-threatening disease. Doctors told me that if I lived past 10 years old, I wouldn't live past 20. And I was actually only a few weeks from turning 11. I was hospitalized for a few months as a child. I went through in and out times. I was an outpatient. I went through times where I was like in the hospital, out of the hospital, in the hospital, out of the hospital. And that has been really the bulk of my health journey for such a long time growing up, throughout my teenage years, throughout middle school, throughout high school, even during my college times. And it was just really, really, really stressful for me. And I yo-yoed when it came to my weight. And that was really dependent not only just on what I was eating, but also on medications that I was taking, a lot of steroids that I was taking to either suppress my immune system or to, what's the word I'm looking for? Either to suppress my immune system or to suppress the inflammation that was happening and to lower it. So it was just really frustrating. You know, it was such a frustrating time. My weight yo-yoed. I was anywhere, I think the highest that I was weight-wise was in 2011, I believe. I got back on steroids again. The doctor put me back on steroids, and I had every side effect in the book. Okay, so I had taken steroids on and off for many, many years. I think the longest amount of time that I had been on it for my liver was about 5 years. And so I had just been up and down. And I took, in 2011, I started on steroids again, and I had every side effect in the book. I wasn't sleeping. I had night sweats. I was super swollen. My face was very, very round. For those of you that are familiar with steroids, you know all the toxic side effects that they can really produce for you. I was hungry. I was frustrated. Even walking was a chore. I had ballooned to about 245 pounds, I believe, was one of the numbers that I remembered looking in the doctor's office on the scale, and I was like, holy shit. Like, is that me, right? And I think it had even escalated to one point where it was like 250, 252, somewhere around there. And you know, one day I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I just cannot do that. I can't live this way. Either I'm going to live or I'm going to die. And I had gotten many what I call saving graces in the past, where just when I think, okay, this is it, this is the end, boom, something happens. And I'm able to really just ride that wave to see what else I can find, what other type of healing modalities, what can I stretch, what can I do, how hungry am I to make my life happen so that I'm healthier, I'm happier, and I just feel really good and even somewhat confident about myself. When you go through things like this, when you go through a lot of health issues, when you know, for most of your life you've had a lot of trauma surrounding your physical self, surrounding your emotional self, surrounding so many aspects of your life, it translates very physically. And so one of the things that was very challenging for me was to work on healing my inner fat girl. And I know there will be many people that are like, how are you going to say inner fat girl and there's nothing wrong with being fat and blah, 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 blah. Okay, people, slow your roll, pump your brakes. All right, because she was 245, 250 plus pounds. You know, I was sick. It wasn't that I was just eating whatever I wanted to. That was a small part of it, but for the most part, I was really, really sick. I wasn't taught how to eat well, to heal myself, to help my body have a fighting chance, and I wasn't very active. I wasn't very active because I didn't know how to be active, and I didn't have the money to be consistently active. So one of the things that I did was I just started walking, and I said, okay, I'm on these steroids, I can barely breathe, I'm having asthma all the time. You know, if I just start with this neighborhood, this block, if I can just do that and work up to it every single day, work up toward tackling half a block, then tackling a full block, and then see how much more I can tackle after that, you know, then every day I can be one step closer to my goal. It doesn't matter how long it takes, because this is my life and I want to be able to live as long as possible. So if I can just tackle that and get there, then I'll be happy. I'll be really happy to just continue to move and to keep moving, you know. And so like I said, one of the things was really focusing on healing my inner fat girl and empowering her. You know, you can decide whether you were once big and you are now smaller, or you are big and you are looking to become healthier in whatever your size small is, because that could really range for people. I never thought I'd be this small. I swear I thought I'd look like Melissa Ford, because when I was bigger I had more curves, and so I thought, yeah, I'm totally gonna look like Melissa Ford, like up in this bitch, I'm gonna be like video model status, right? No, it just didn't happen that way, because what I learned, and I shouldn't say quickly, what I learned is that once you slim down, you still have to build your muscle and you still have to build your body out in that aspect. There's no way that you are just going to slim down and say, I'm going to have a body like, you know, whoever it is you want to have a body like, because you have to build yourself up with muscle. You want to be healthier in whatever healthy that looks like for you, right? So you have to heal your inner fat girl. One of the biggest things that I learned was either I'm going to be her cheerleader or I'm going to be her worst enemy, and she's going to be mine. So either she's going to empower me or disempower me, or I'm going to empower her or disempower her. So either you're going to be pulling or you're going to be pulled, and you have to make the decision which direction you're going to take. What are you going to be? Are you going to be empowering or are you going to be disempowering? I look to her, who is still me, but I look to her as she was actually stronger than I am right now. So many people look at me and they think emotionally I'm like this fortress, right? I'm like steel. I'm like, I got this shit. Actually, the me in 2011, the me in 2012, even the me in 2013 and 2014 went through so much shit, right? I started on this journey in, I think it was like the end of 2012, maybe the beginning of 2013, and I would have never gotten there if it weren't for the entire journey that I've been on since a child, but more specifically and more recently, what I went through in 2011 and 2012, because those really, the experience really shook me. It really brought me to a place where I felt vulnerable again, and I really had to rely on myself. So when I look back to Angela at 2011 and Angela at 2012, I say to myself, wow, she was a freaking G. She did that shit. She wasn't taking no for an answer. She got to desperate, and so many people think it's wrong to get to desperate. No, your ass needs to get to desperate, because you need to become hungry enough to decide whether you're going to empower yourself and do whatever it is necessary that you have to do to get there, or you're going to disempower yourself and you're going to lay down and die. And who wants to do that? I know I don't want to do that. I worked my ass off just to get to me today, just to build her up physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It took a lot, you know? So you have to decide if you're going to empower yourself or you're going to disempower yourself. Are you going to look at yourself now, or are you going to look at yourself who you have been, and you're going to be empowered by that, and you're going to allow her to continue to be your motivation and your biggest cheerleader, and that driving force behind everything you do. You can't forget about her. So many people want to forget about who they once were. You cannot forget about that person because she's always with you. You can't forget about her because she brought you to this point now. She's been your biggest cheerleader. She's been that bitch that's your day one, right? She's been with you since the beginning, and she's going to continue to fight for you. So you have to ask yourself whether you're going to continue to be empowered or you're going to be disempowered. Are you going to look at her as your best friend and your cheerleader, somebody that continues to motivate you and push you, or are you going to look at her as your worst enemy and continue on a cycle of being disempowered? You have to ask yourself that question. So one of the things that I wrote down that I want to share with you guys is that inner fat girl can empower you or disempower you. Because even when you go from a size 26 to a size 6, she'll still live in your head. You're still going to have to sleep with her. You're still going to have to eat with her. You're still going to go through all of these struggles that you went through before. You're still going through those things. Those things don't leave you just because, you know, you go from a size 26 to a size 6. It doesn't happen. You're still going through an emotional battle, a mental battle, a spiritual battle. You're still going through these battles within yourself that you're fighting every single day, and you really want her to be strong for you. You really want her to be on your side. You want her to continue to be your biggest cheerleader instead of your worst enemy. Don't hate her. Don't look at her as if, oh, I can't look at her, I'm ashamed of her. No, she brought you to this point, so you need to acknowledge that that's your day one bitch right there. Don't hate her, be proud of her. So here are 2 questions that I feel that you need to ask yourself. I know that there are many more questions that you probably should ask yourself regarding being empowered by her or deciding to be disempowered, but 2 questions that I pulled out were, how are you helping to empower her? So how are you helping to empower her right now? One of the major ways to empower yourself is to just jump in. There's been that video of Steve Harvey that's been circulating about him talking about how to really succeed and how to learn. And one of the things he says is to just jump. It's to just jump. Is your parachute going to open? You don't know unless you jump. And the same applies here. Is how are you helping to empower her? Well, guess what? The way she brought you, the same way she brought you to this point right now is the same way that you need to continue that for yourself, for her, and for other people that are watching you to be inspired by you, is to just jump, is to just do, is to just be active every single day. Get up and do something. Doesn't matter what you do as long as A, it brings you joy, B, you enjoy the creativity behind it. It makes you feel alive and you light up when you do it. Do something active every single day. Rewinding, backtracking to what I was saying about when I came to that point where I was like, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I need to do something. I didn't sit down and say I need to write something. I didn't sit down and say, I need to talk to other people about this. No, the time for talking to other people was out the window. The time for thinking about things was out the window. I was at a very critical space in my life where I said I need to do something. And whether people like it or not, I need to do this shit and I need to make it happen. And that's what I decided. And I made an active decision to do something, to move, to make it happen and to keep moving. So how are you helping to empower her? Stay active and do something that you know is going to continue to empower her and empower you, and then plan ahead for that so that you can do that every week or you can do that every couple of days, and it's something that is marked into your calendar as this is what I do, and it lights you up. That's going to empower her. That's going to continue to empower you for the long run. Secondly, what actions are you taking today to build her up, motivate, and inspire her to live more happy and healthy? So what actions are you currently taking, or what actions are you planning to take? Like I said, do those things that inspire you, those things that light you up, but at the same time, you need to plan for those things. You need to make sure those things are on the calendar. You need to make sure those things fall in line with any goals that you may have for the next, for the next year, for the next, few months of your life. What is it that you want to do? How is it that you want to inspire other people? Do you want to speak to people? Do you want to give back? Do you want to help other people to become healthier? Do you want to help other people emotionally? What are those actions that you want to take? And just be mindful of the fact that these things need to be action oriented. You can sit and plan all you want, which is fine, but energy comes in execution mode. That's where everything just starts to pop off, So you really need to decide if you want to empower yourself or if you're going to continue to disempower yourself. Because the you that you were last year, the you that you were a few months ago, you need to continue to build off of her, because she brought you to this point. Now, either she's going to continue to empower you, or you're going to look at her as an enemy and feel disempowered. Either you're going to pull or be pulled. And I say continue with empowerment. Now, if she hasn't so much empowered you in the past, even though she's brought you to this point currently, what can you do today to empower her? What can you do today to motivate her and to inspire her and to make her light up and feel amazing? What can you do? One of the things that I learned was, and I'm still on this journey, where I go through these phases, where in the beginning I was like, yeah, I'm all about that gym life. But after a while, I got bored. And I was like, I can't deal with this. I can't do this. Where am I running? I'm just running and I'm looking at other people working out. Well, but I'm doing all these repetitions, but where am I going? Where is it leading me? I'm the type of person, I like to be out in nature. I like to be inspired by the outside world, and I like to talk to people. I like to engage with people. But I wasn't having any of that in the gym because everyone was in their zone of their own physical genius of what they were doing. And I was like, I need more. I need to interact with people. So anything regarding sports is great for me. Anything regarding dance and movement and doing things with people and just kind of like getting out there and like, yeah, and feeling like in a team aspect, in a group aspect, like it takes all of us to get to this destination. And those are things that are for me, and those are things that I have implemented and added to my calendar for the next, like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And I've planned out for those things because I know these are things that light me up, and these are things that are going to keep me moving. And most importantly, these are things that are going to give me confidence, and these are things that are going to empower me versus disempower me. And I'm going to build off of the empowerment that Angela in 2011 and 2012 and even 2013, that she would be proud of, because I'm, in a sense, carrying the torch, continuing it on from where she began. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is, are you disempowered? Are you empowered? How are you empowering yourself? Are you empowering that inner fat girl within you? Whether she is present and physical, because it's all a mindset. It really is all a mindset, So whether she's present and physical and feeling disempowered, how can you empower her? Or were you there at one point and now you're at a new space in your life, but maybe mentally you're still attached to where you were and your confidence may be lacking. I tell people all the time, I didn't start feeling sexy in my new body until most recently. Until most recently. And I've been like this since 2014. So I think it was like the last half of 2014. But it's a process. It's never one stop shop towards small or skinny or anything like that, And so it's a process. It's definitely a process. So how are you empowering yourself? You know, how are you working off of the empowerment that you created for yourself, that energy you created for yourself last month, you know, a few months ago, last year? How can you build off of that to build your confidence up? That's one of the things that you really want to focus on, so that you can find some long-term success, you can find some confidence, you can be happy and do things that light you up, you know? All right, guys, so thanks so much for joining me for this video. Let me know in the comments, let me know on my Facebook page, Instagram. I'm all across social media, even Periscope. Let me know. I actually want to hear your stories. When I say I want to hear your stories, I'm authentic about that shit. Like, I really want to hear your stories. I want to hear what you're going through. I want to hear any frustrations and challenges you may have. I want to know, like, hey, you know, my inner fat girl still controls me, you know. Maybe last night I got frustrated because my boyfriend broke up with me, and I went and I reached for the vegan ice cream that still has a lot of sugar, and I ate the whole freaking pint. Or maybe I made some s'mores. Because I do that, you know. My choice and my brands may vary when it comes to the food choices I make, but I still have the same cravings, you know. Like the other night, I found that I was a little frustrated, and I made, I bought these organic marshmallows, and then I bought these organic and non-GMO graham crackers, and then I bought this organic chocolate, and I made myself a s'more. Because I was like, I need some chocolate. I mean, it was that time of the month, but I was like, I need chocolate. I'm so frustrated. And I made myself 2 small s'mores. And I went to bed absolutely happy. And I was like, this is not an everyday thing. It made me feel good for the moment. And I was stroking the ego of my inner fat girl. But guess what? You know, I need to be mindful, because my body and my health have to be on a certain track. You know, so that it's going to happen. That's going to be normal, you know. But how are you going to continue to empower yourself, not beat yourself up when you have setbacks, but continue to empower yourself along this journey? But I really want to hear, I want to know, you know, where are you having problems? You know, where are you feeling frustrated? What kind of dialogue are you having with yourself? Are you having with that inner fat girl? How do you feel about her? How does she feel about you? You know, is she the strong one, and you may feel like, well, I'm kind of a little bit weaker, you know, and she's a little bit stronger. Like I said, I didn't start feeling sexy until a few months ago, because I had felt so sexy being bigger, being more voluptuous. And so now this is my new healthy. This is my new version of healthy. This is healthier. So how can I mentally come to a place where not only am I healthier, but I feel sexy, I feel feminine, I feel good, you know? And that's all part of the confidence and part of the empowerment that you want to be able to provide to your inner fat girl. So thanks so much, guys, for watching this long video. Hit me up and let me know. I want to know about your stories. I want to know where you are in your life, and I want to connect with you. All right, guys, so thanks so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.